Yes, I'm ready. Good afternoon, viewers. Such a beautiful day today. And we as Christians, we have been really very excited about what the Bible teaches us and what other people are telling us, especially science. There's a lot of this description in science which doesn't tell people the truth, and everybody seems to believe. I'm just going to read from the Bible in the book of Romans chapter 1 from verse 21. Hear what Romans says. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were they thankful, but became vain in their imagination, and foolish heart has darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Here the Bible tells us, though they knew God, they didn't honor God. They decide, even if they claim to be wise, but yet they are foolish in their understanding and their mind. Because the Bible tells us that God is the one that gives us wisdom. He gives us knowledge. He gives us revelation. So every wise man must have the knowledge of God. If you are a believer and someone who trusts in God, definitely you'll have God's wisdom. Like the Bible tells us in the Old Testament, God gave Solomon an incredible wisdom. People came from far countries to listen to the wisdom of Solomon. It wasn't just the wisdom of Solomon, but it was God's wisdom given to Solomon. That is why he attracted almost everybody in the world. Some of the queens, they came to Israel, to Jerusalem, to witness and see for themselves. And many problems were sorted out within Israel because of the wisdom that God has given Solomon. I'm going to read you something from this book, Graven Image, to let you know that there's a lot of fabrication, a lot of things that are said to be science, yet it is not science. I will read it, this information, you can hear it properly. One prominent figure within the rise of Copernicism, whose hermetic influence has been throughout document in the well-traveled figure in Giordano Bruno, who first proposed that stars are distant sun and was killed by being burned at a stake. Now this is Giordano Bruno. He came with a logic, he came with a theory that the sun, hang on, let me read it again. Let me read it. Who first proposed that the stars are distant sun? The stars are distant sun. When you look at the orbits, every star, moon, sun, Jupiter, they are all different. They all have different sizes. You see, now this is one of the greatest mistakes that people follow today. How can this man with his theory, with his ideas and opinion tell us that the stars are part of the sun? You know, it is something that he claimed. As he said in here, in the 20th century, he said the stars are distant sun. If that was so, then the light that comes from the sun is similar to the light that comes from the stars. I could believe that scientists they have gone with their rocket past the stars, and they pass probably close to the stars.
They haven't even gone past the sun.
No. That's what they claim. They claim they have gone near the stars and the moon and all that. Now
they haven't even gone close to this hour.
Well, let me do. I know they haven't. So we can see that this is a fabrication because the sun is designed differently by God so that he can produce light, and that light and the sun rays is very helpful to human beings as well as clothes. Now, what are the uses of stars? The stars has got its own function that God has created, because God is a God of design, God of objectivity, God who knows how He planned things and He created them according to His divine nature and His divine capability. Now, we have seen many times the stars are even more in numbers compared to the sun. They have their function. God knows exactly the functions of stars, moons, Jupiters, and even the sun.
Is the earth flat?
So that, please don't interrupt. So you can see that there is totally a different. It's not the same. They are all different planets. Now let's look at what this Bruno did, and eventually he was burned to stake, because what he was telling the whole world was actually like a fiction or something that is not really real. Now, Francis Yates, 20th century historian who specialized in Renaissance history, wrote an entire book on this title, Giordano Bruno and the Hermetic Tradition, which you can now read online free. Copernicus himself referred to Hermes in this quote about the sun. In the middle of all sit the sun enthroned. In the most beautiful temple could be we place the luminary in any better position from which he can illuminate the whole at once. He is highly called the Lamb, the mind, the ruler of the universe. Hermes Trismegistus name him like the visible God. Sophades, Electra call him all the sovereign. So the sun sits upon the royal throne, ruling his children, the planet which circle around him. So we can see that this doctrine has caused people to worship sun as a god. Even the Muslim, they do worship the sun as a god. When you see their sacraments, it simplifies the image of the sun. And usually they even put it in their churches. So it is an idolatry that God has rejected. That's why today, some people in our generation, they do worship the sun as a god. And I read in the book of Romans, Paul said, though they knew God, but they did not honor him. You see, they had a vain imagination. You see, they are claiming to be wise, but the Bible tells us they are fools. Because God created the universe, the heavens and the earth. He created the vegetation, the mountain, the rivers, and He created everything according to what pleases Him. Now somebody came with a theory, and he make it as a scientific theory, which is a human invention and a human philosophy. I could say it is a human theory. When you talk about theory, there's no substantial evidence or proof concerning what they have said. You can prove on a theory. What about Charles Darwin? That is a theory. Now the theory of Charles Darwin has been proven by some scientists that is not true. And you and I as human beings, we cannot agree to that kind of theory. Because today, when you go to the zoo or to the game parks, you will see the same animal like gorillas, monkeys, chimpanzees. They never change. They have been there for many years as God created them. So we can see and disprove the belief of what Charles Darwin has come up. Now I'm going to carry on reading because we are taking it step by step. In the middle of all, I've read this. Let me go here, go to the next one. Isaac Newton, well known to have been an alchemist and a student of Kabbalah. Kabbalah is one of the religions that most film stars, movie stars, like one of Madonna, and this one man, I can't remember his name now, they were believers in this religion. And this religion is not basically something that glorifies God. It originated from Satan, Lucifer itself. It is a satanic kind of worship that a lot of people now invoke, especially the rich people. So this is one of the things that Charles Isaac Newton, who is a believer or a student of Kabbalah. Kabbalah is a demonic thing that many people now are drawn into it, and many people, especially the rich, they are now got involved in the worship of this God. Supposedly, I've endeavored to translate the immoral tablet of alchemy, but he too was a student of the Corpus Hermeticum. So we have Nicolaus, Copernicus, Johannes, Kepler, Robert Boyle, Isaac Newton, all heavily influenced by emeticism of a cause. Francis Bacon as well, whose writing would seem to eventually inspire the creation of the first official institution of scientific study, the Royal Study or the Royal Society. Interestingly enough, there has been a fair amount of research done by the numerous people examining the foundation members of the Royal Society and their connection to both Freemasonry and Rosicrucianism. Let me carry on, then we can explain. It was Newton who developed the theory of gravity. Newton's theory were heavily influenced by the writing of Hermes Trismegistus. Among Newton's notes were found the following quote, in which he translated the writing of Hermes Trismegistus. In the notes, Newton wrote, "The sun is the father of creation, the moon is the mother, and the earth is the nurse." Now you can see all these people were involved in different kind of worship. Now everyone in the world believes in gravity, and everybody thinks gravity is something that God has created. No, that's not true. Gravity came about by some of the teaching of these men who were involved in secret worship of the devil. And Isaac Newton is claimed to be one of the most brilliant scientists, but they use a different force that make them do the things that they have been doing. Now, if you think gravity is what people think it is real, then what does God's word tell us? The Bible says God created the heavens and the earth. He created all things. And God had the power to hold every planets, the stars, the moons, the Jupiters, and everything. If it was surely the gravity, as Isaac Newton claimed, then we will see all these planets falling apart. Because anything that stands in a gravity, it is bound to fall or to be somewhere floating or going in a different direction. But God made it in His divine, unique way that He made all the planets to be where they are. Now let's look at the earth, the land, and the water, the oceans. You see, if it is because of gravity, this water will turn and splash everywhere. So that means the theory of gravity is a man-made thing. It's got nothing to do with God. But we know that God is so powerful. When He was creating the world, He said, "Let there be light." And light came to existence. Let there be ocean, let there be rivers, let there be vegetation, and those things came to existence. That means God holds the universe. He holds the stars. He holds all the planets. But gravity, it is something that was mastermind or developed is a theory which is not real. The world believes in that. So this is one of our series. We're going to carry on again next time. So thank you and God bless you. If you're a Christian, don't believe what science said. Not everything, but believe in the Word of God. God bless you.